Alright, so I have this problem. I have this great 360 camera. 360 camera is what you're looking at. You can film in all directions at once. Now, the problem that I have is that I don't understand why this hasn't been adopted by more people. I don't understand why it's not more of a thing. I don't understand why it's not sort of widespread or commonplace. Like I can't figure out sort of like what the holdup is. And I know that there's like little things, like little prohibitive things. I mean, obviously what you're watching isn't super crisp, beautiful 4K. Not that this is an incredibly expensive camera, but generally the video quality is less. I understand that people don't generally have the technology to view it, like the goggles or an Oculus or whatever the different thing is. I mean, like, I know it's a new thing, but the examples that I keep on coming back to are, if you're watching a show like the Anthony Bourdain's No Reservations or whatever, something like that, like a travel show, where it's like an experience and it's a different culture and it's a different place, and it's this very visual, like you're dropped into this unique location. Wouldn't you want to be able to look around and, see everything there is to see and feel like you're actually immersed in that location? Like, why would you prefer to watch that on a rectangle when you could watch that looking around, Like, why would you watch a talk show where you're staring at two people having a conversation with a desk and a chair, and they're looking at each other and they're sort of looking at you, when you could be sitting at a round table and Will Ferrell could be there and Jimmy Fallon could be there and you're sitting in between them, like in on the conversation? I like, the technology is there, and the ability to consume that is there at a very cheap price point. Like a really good headset at this point right now, wireless and standalone, is like $200. So, like, I just don't get it. It's like a math problem. It's like an equation that I'm trying to balance, and I just really can't figure out. Like, there's all these little small things, but like as a whole, does it have something to do with sort of like psychology? It's like we're so used to seeing things in front of us, like having a point of perspective, that it makes us uneasy when the thing that we're watching is happening all around us, which is closer to real life. And that, I did find something that's sort of interesting. That is, whenever I was watching videos, there's two kinds of 360 videos. There's ones where you're like in a place, and there's ones that are hosted, like like this, where there's a very obvious sort of point of focus, which would be me in this case. Is that I would keep on going back to that. Even if I was in the middle of this beautiful scene with all this crazy stuff going on, I would keep on going back to the point of focus. I definitely wouldn't be sitting there just sort of like looking around at the environment for extended periods while somebody was talking to me. In the same way, if I was in an actual conversation with somebody, I wouldn't be looking all over the place. So, it could be just like a psychological thing, but it's a weird one. So, what I'm trying to do personally is I'm trying to experiment with the 360 camera as much as I can with different things, and doing things like this, and doing things where it's just a static scene, and playing with scale and motion and editing, and sort of trying to come up with some formula that's engaging and continually engaging with an ongoing interest. You can watch all the videos of of shark encounters and skydiving and roller coasters you want, but like, you know, my kids have watched all that stuff, but they're certainly not clamoring for like, I want to see another roller coaster. They would rather watch somebody play video games on YouTube for 2 hours than sit through a, you know, a 360 video with the headset on of another roller coaster. So like that sort of ongoing interest beyond the initial sort of gimmick factor is another really hard nut to crack. So I don't know. It's a beautiful night in Chicago, sitting on the roof, and I don't know. We'll see where it goes.